every time you have a wank, you have to put some money in the jar to contribute to your next contribution. Husband secretly made an AI nude of my sister and he doesn't know that I know. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Wedlocked In. I'm Ella.
I'm Martin, and we're going to be looking at some of the craziest Reddit stories about marriage, relationships, and parenting. And we've got a bit of a theme this week, don't we, Ella? Do you want to?
Yeah, so the theme this week is basically creeps of the internet. So I think pretty much all of them are men being creeps, but that's kind of the overarching theme. So
Right, so just male creeps.
I mean, just men in general, really.
Oh, great. Do you hear that, Rocky?
Right, should we get stuck in?
Yep, you've got the first one today, haven't you?
Yes, okay. So I've got some incredibly creepy stories today. Genuinely, you are going to be cringing listening to some of these because they are just insane. Right. Ready?
Yep.
Am I the asshole for running away after what I found in my mum's boyfriend's car? Hi Reddit. I'm not sure where I'm allowed to post since my post got removed on a different subreddit, so maybe I can post here. So this happened yesterday. I, 15 female, don't know if I'm overreacting. My mum, 37 female, has been dating Tom, 45 male, for the past 2 years, and we moved in with him really early into their relationship. I've never really liked him as he's given me really creepy vibes. He has accidentally walked in on me changing, joked about my body, and I feel like he's been overly touchy in passing moments, like grazing against me when passing by. I have already told my mum before how uncomfortable Tom makes me feel, but she always dismisses me or says I'm overthinking things. It's been like this ever since we all started living together. Yesterday, I couldn't find my earbuds, so I went looking for them inside Tom's car, since it was the last place I used them. I decided to check the glove compartment, which I wish I never did, now I know, because I can't shake the memory of what I found. As I was moving the papers and the mess he had in there, I ended up seeing something that made me do a double take. I found a pair of my underwear that went missing last month and a photo of me in a swimsuit from a beach trip 2 years ago inside a Ziploc bag. I felt so sick and confused and stood there with my thoughts racing as to why he would be hiding that. There really isn't any innocent explanation as to why the hell he has that. I thought maybe I should just leave it there and pretend I never saw anything at all. But knowing how fucking weird Tom is with me, I just had to show my mum. Maybe she would finally believe me. Well, I approached my mum when we were alone. I was trying to tell her what I found when I went looking for my earbuds. I even showed it to her. I told her I felt so freaked out and uncomfortable with Tom, and to her to finally believe my experiences were true, to please leave him and get us out of here. She just stood there with the most disgusted look on her face, then interrupted me and started yelling at me about how I am mentally ill for planting fake evidence to prove my delusions about Tom, just because I want to sabotage her relationship and happiness. She threw the Ziploc bag in the trash, and we had a back and forth argument until I went and locked myself in my room. I felt like I was going to lose my mind, so I told my best friend and asked if I could come over and have a last-minute sleepover. I packed my backpack and snuck out last night. Well, my mum finally noticed I ran away and sent me a text about how I'm such a drama queen. I just feel lost. I feel like I should have pretended I never even saw what I did, and maybe I was in the wrong for trying to ruin her relationship. I mean, I do want my mum to be happy. I just wish it wasn't with him. Am I wrong for how I overreacted?
I don't think you've really overreacted there, to be honest, original poster. Okay. Did this person, the protagonist, give their age?
15.
15,
She's
Jesus
15 years
Christ.
old.
Okay, so he's got a photo from you in a bikini from when you were 13. What does her mum think is happening here?
Okay.
That man's a paedophile.
Call the police.
Yes.
Oh my God. This man is a
Lock him
criminal.
up.
Like, okay. Oh God, there's just so much going on here. So, I mean, to be honest, I just feel like if your mum or parent, whoever you're living with, starts being with someone who makes you uncomfortable, that is reason enough to leave them. Your child should always be your priority. Like, if you start dating someone new and your child doesn't like them, like, understand that you have to kind of like maybe work through that and figure out why. But if your child is telling you that they feel uncomfortable, unsafe, or like the person that you're with is looking at them in a certain way. I mean, the minute your child mentions they're uncomfortable, they should be out the door.
100%.
And why would you question it as well? Why are you choosing to believe this man over your child?
Yeah, I just don't understand what the mum thinks is going on. Well, clearly she thinks she's trying to plant evidence to break them up, but it seems a bit delusional to think that, you know. It's a new person. I don't. How long has she been with this person? Did she say?
I'm not
Because
sure.
it says they've moved in together, so that gives me the impression it's been
2
a while.
years.
2 years, right?
They've been together
okay.
for 2 years.
Right. I mean, why are you still with this man? He's clearly a freak.
Even if she'd been with him for the last 10 years, if he starts looking at your daughter inappropriately, I personally think the mum knows that he's creeping on her, but she just doesn't want to leave him, so she's staying with him because she's choosing to be willfully ignorant of what's going on so that she doesn't have to feel guilty about it. But there's no way she doesn't know what's going on. I mean, how would you possibly think that your 15-year-old is devious enough to plant a photo, her own underwear and a photo of herself in a bikini from 2 years ago in his car? Oh, it's just, oh my God, this one absolutely makes my blood boil. Okay, obviously the guy is a criminal. I mean, you know, he's essentially a paedophile.
Yeah, there's a thin line separating that and what could be considered as,
I mean, he's got
pornographic image of a child.
He's got, child pornography. Essentially, he's got her underwear and then a picture of a 13-year-old, a 13-year-old girl in a bikini. Like, oh, I mean, honestly, but obviously he is a disgusting, creepy, despicable member of the human race. But the mum makes me angriest out of everything because I just feel like how could you possibly do that to your child and not keep your child safe, even if it was her biological dad who was acting that way. As a parent, you should want to protect your child from anyone who wishes them harm. It doesn't matter if they're family, it doesn't matter if they're a friend. Your child's safety should come first.
Well, that's what I was going to say, It's not like it's a very small child, but you still need to be concerned about your child's welfare, even past the point of them still being a child in the definition of the law. We're mid to late 20s between us. Not going to say who's older. But, our parents are still concerned about our welfare and everything. I'm sorry, this is a very judgmental thing to say, but this mother is obviously a terrible parent and does not give one shit about her daughter, quite frankly, and I don't want to say the daughter should be taken away from her because she might end up in the care system or something, and but through no fault of her own. But something needs to be done about this creepy man and the mother because this is just utterly vile, and I don't know how the mother sleeps at night, quite frankly, knowing she's putting her daughter in a situation that could also escalate if he's willing to do that and leave evidence not completely in the open but to be found. What else is he capable of? It doesn't bear thinking about, quite frankly.
Well, also, like, what percentage of young girls who have a stepdad or a mum who has a boyfriend make false accusations against them? Like, I'm sure there's some, like there is with anything, but I'm sure that the percentage of men actually taking it, like, being creepy and inappropriate with young girls is a higher percentage than young girls making up stories about them for attention.
It is. So one of the podcasters I quite like, he's called Andrew Gold, got one of his books on the bookshelf, and he does a lot around cults and things like that and some other darker. But anyway, so he's interviewed like this sort of paedophile group in Germany that help rehabilitate them but don't report them to the police. I won't get into it. So he's done a lot of sort of looking into that. And according to the research he's done, 1 in every 100 men has those sort of tendencies to underage girls, which is an alarmingly high number. The number of men who enact upon those like urges is a lot less than the 1 in the 100. A lot fewer people actually act on it than actually have the. That's not me trying to justify. I'm just saying it's unfortunately very widespread. Like 1 in 100. That's not like very long odds, is it? So. Be careful with who you date, ladies, because there's a lot of freaks out there.
To be honest, it doesn't surprise me because like the amount of friends I have who have experienced some form of sexual assault is ridiculous. Like that, there is so much. you know, there's a reason why women are scared to walk alone at night. There's a reason why women like take self-defense classes, walk with their keys in their knuckles. Like, you know, like the saying, we've actually got like another theme on this for another episode at some point, but the saying not all men is something often that a lot of men say if a woman's talking about like an experience of being like sexually assaulted or abused. And often a lot of men will like comment on videos like that and be like, well, it's not all men. And like, obviously, no, it's not all men. But the thing is, there is a large proportion of men taking advantage, abusing and hurting women. And it's like, you do need to look at the statistics and, you know, prepare yourself accordingly. Well, no, not that I'm saying it's on the woman to do that. But what I mean is like, you know, it's not all men, but it's a hell of a lot of them.
Well, even if you look at just the statistics in England and Wales for sex offences by gender, it's going to be like heavily weighted men doing it over women. Obviously there's a subset of, I don't know what the word is, disgusting women in the population who will commit crimes in a similar vein, but it's obviously men, and quite often, you know, not as many men on women, but, you know, men on men incidents as well. So it's the men doing most of it.
Yeah.
There's no getting away from the statistics, unfortunately, is there?
But circling back to the story, so let's just go to OP's question, which is, am I in the wrong for how I reacted? No. Hell no. That you... Oh God, really feel for you, OP, having a mum who does not believe you and does not support you and is keeping you in a dangerous situation. And if I was going to give you any sort of advice, it would be to speak to a friend, another family member, or even someone at your school, because essentially you are not in a safe household. You are staying in a house that is not safe for you, and your mum is refusing to step up and protect you, even though it's difficult. I would say go and speak to someone at school, like contact another family member who you trust. Like, you need to get yourself out of that situation because your mum doesn't seem like she's going to help you. So I'm really sorry you're going through this, but you need to get out any way you can.
Yeah, I was just scrolling the comments to see if anyone thought that she was overreacting, because we could have, I don't know, exposed them on the internet and got people to shout at them, but doesn't look like it, thankfully. But
Good.
yeah, don't chance staying in this environment. Get the hell out while you can, because that ain't safe.
Yeah. So should we get into some of the comments quickly before we move on?
Yeah, so it's your segment, so I'll hand
Right,
you
okay.
back.
So, I mean, I feel like this is kind of an obvious one. Obviously, she's not overreacting. This is an absolutely despicable thing to have happened. But yeah, let's get into some of the comments. Top comment with 1,000 upvotes. You are not overreacting. Your mother is protecting the wrong person. You need to get this all documented. Until you do, legally, your mother can make you come back home. Do you trust your friend's parents? They can help you navigate this. And then people replying to that comment, we've got, you're absolutely not overreacting. Your safety and well-being should come first, and it's heartbreaking your mother isn't seeing that. Document everything now. If your friend's parents are supportive, let them help you take the right steps. You deserve to be heard and protected. Oh gosh. And we've got some comments from OP replying to some of these comments, so I'll read a couple of them out. So OP replies to that person saying, doing so feels like it's more serious than it is, ? Because I haven't faced any harm, but I'll keep note about documenting it if I ever find any more physical evidence of him being weird. Oh my gosh, okay, just on that, it is as serious as it sounds. Just because he has not physically touched you yet does not mean that, one, he's not intending to, and two, what he's doing alone with that photograph is probably illegal. Like,
we all know what he's doing.
We all know what he's doing with that photograph. What other possible innocent explanation is there for having a photo of a 13-year-old girl and a pair of that girl's underwear in your glove compartment?
In a Ziploc bag, it's pretty unanimous and obvious what you have that for, like what your intentions are with that item stored in that way. You shouldn't have a pair of your... It's just the mum's boyfriend, isn't it? So his girlfriend's child's underwear anyway, let alone in a Ziploc bag hidden in your car. That's, that's bang to rights there, mate. Like,
well,
come on.
I'm pretty sure as well that, I mean, it's illegal to have child pornography, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm not sure what the legalities are around having photos of your partner's children, but surely taking their underwear and having a photo of them in little clothing, there must be some legal thing around that. Anyway, basically, if we just kind of bring this to our main point, which is you are not overreacting, and it is as serious as it is. And I'm sorry to say, because it's a horrible thing to have to confront, but this is very, very serious. Just because he has not physically laid hands on you yet does not negate how serious the situation is. Like,
Yeah.
it is not safe for you to be there. And the fact that your mum is not supporting you after multiple attempts to tell her that you feel uncomfortable and that he's made you feel like he's sexually interested in you, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, also, we didn't even touch on the fact that she mentioned that he would often graze past her, stare at her while she's undressing. We didn't even look at any of that, but all of the evidence points to this man is sexually attracted to a minor.
Yeah.
And he either intends to do something, whether he intends to do something about it or not is beside the point. It's not safe for her to be there, and she needs to leave any way she can. So yeah, I would recommend, OP, that you get support from your friend's parents, or if there's any other safe family members you can speak to them. If you've got no one else to speak to the police, because I do think if a 15-year-old girl goes into a police station and tells them this story, they're going to take it seriously. Surely, you would hope so.
Yeah, don't know what the police are like, where this person's from, don't know where it is. It's Reddit, you could assume America, might be Britain.
It's spelt mom, M-O-N,
right,
M-O-M, so I think it's probably
US.
American.
Yeah, well, take it seriously, because it is serious. On that note, do you want to move on to...
Let's move on. So that was creepy story number 1. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sorry that was a little bit heavy, but they get even creepier as it goes on. So
They do. Shall we start the creepathon?
Yes, I'm excited to see what story you've picked.
Okay, so this one is from r/parenting, and the title is Discomfort with Father-in-Law, Comments Towards Baby. So the father-in-law's comments towards the child's.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a 3-month-old baby girl, and I'm feeling uncomfortable with my father-in-law around her, and I don't know if it's just my existing prejudice towards him or me being an overprotective first-time mum. He has always been someone who makes inappropriate jokes, often about women, and comments on women being attractive, etc., which I don't like and will call him out on, but I'm willing to overlook on the basis that we just have a different sense of humour. However, he has now started making similar jokes relating to my daughter. For example, joking about her being a lesbian because she is breastfeeding, and asking what age he can take her out to a gentleman's club. Not entirely sure what that meant, but I presume it was a bad joke. What has made me particularly uncomfortable is a comment he made while playing with her. He was blowing bubbles on her belly and chest area, and she was giggling, and he said something along the lines of, "We'll have to stop doing this when you're 16. In the moment, I was taken off guard by the comments, but tried to reason with myself that it was just a strange joke and that I just had to get her out of there as quickly as possible. But on the way home, I got upset at the comment, particularly why a granddad would be thinking about their baby granddaughter being teenager while playing with her. To me, it felt like a strange place for your mind to go, yep. I'm also just worried about him making comments as she get older that they could impact her. It just makes me very uncomfortable for him to look after her or hold her. It feels like a red flag, and that could mean he is a risk to her at some point. I've spoken to my partner about this, who agrees that his dad's comments are not appropriate and wants him to stop. However, his view is that his dad is no threat to our daughter, and me jumping to the conclusion above, that he could be a risk to her, or that he has any strange intentions is too far and offensive. To me, though, it doesn't feel like that much of a jump. I think that's reasonable. My father-in-law wants to hold her when we are there, asking for another cuddle, and keeps saying that he's bought her another toy, wants to buy her more outfits and things. These could be normal first-time granddad things, but coupled with the above, it just makes my skin crawl. Would appreciate any advice as to whether I might just be overprotective and going a bit overboard in my view, how to address this without completely ruining relationships.
Wow.
Okay. A lot to unpack there. Again.
Oh my god. Okay, right. Whew. Deep breaths for this one, guys, because it just keeps getting creepier. Yeah, that is incredibly inappropriate. Those comments are in no circumstances normal or acceptable comments to make. The fact that he's looking at a baby and thinking about what she's going to be like when she's a 16-year-old almost woman is concerning. Mm-hmm. The fact that also, the comment about the breastfeeding, like her being a lesbian, like, it's sexualizing something that isn't sexual. Do you know what I mean? Breastfeeding a baby, like, is in no way obviously sexualized. It has nothing to do with sex. The fact that you're taking it into that arena is disturbing. I think as well, the thing is, you never know what someone's true intentions are. You know, these could be jokes. I mean, I think he shouldn't be making these sort of comments. Obviously, he shouldn't be making these sort of comments anyway. But I think that, you know, it's possible that they are just really bad, weird jokes that, like, he thinks are funny in his mind. But I think that also you can't 100%. I would feel uncomfortable if we had someone in our family saying those comments about Rosie. There's no way in hell that I'd ever leave her to be alone with him.
No.
And even when we did see him, I'd be a little bit uncomfortable. I'd probably feel the same way. Like, everything she said at the end about him buying her clothes, wanting to cuddle her, I think those are all normal grandparent things, you know. But yeah, coupled with all of those comments, it would make me feel uncomfortable, because I'd feel like, well, does he just want to cuddle her, or is there something weirdly sexual that he's thinking about in his mind?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, any male relative say that, not that any of them would, but say that around my daughter. The first time you get stern word in your ear, the second time you get a slap, and the third time you're missing teeth. Those are just not appropriate things to say about not just a 3-month-old child, any child, especially your own granddaughter. You know, you're meant to be this sort of mature paternal role model for her. And, you know, I heard someone say that, you know, the best thing about being a grandparent is getting to do all the things with your grandkids that you don't get, you know, you didn't have time or energy or money to do with your own kids. So why is he it's just like with this other guy in the previous story. Well, no, this is more cut. This is sort of not quite as cut and dry. You know, there could be sort of maybe a slim reason why this is happening. But look, the evidence is obvious that, to me anyway, this guy's a bit of a creep, or quite a lot of a creep, and he should really not be around that child at all, despite how hard that might be for the father. You know, I can't imagine having a conversation with your other half that I don't think our child should see ex-parent of yours because they're a bit of a weirdo around the kid. That, you know, the thought of that happening doesn't even cross my mind, knowing our parents. So.
No, I think as well, I'm going to find the statistic in a minute actually and include it in here, but the statistic of child abuse, sexual child abuse happening, often the abuser is someone within your family. And we're going to find it right now. Martin's going to look it up while I'm talking about it. But I personally know multiple people who have had experiences of child abuse, and it is always within the family in every story that I've heard. And obviously, that's not in every single case, but you do have to be wary, because even though everyone thinks about their parents and everyone in their family, I trust them 100%. They would never do anything to hurt my child. You don't know 100%. You just don't, and you do have to be cautious. That's why I think as well it is really important that when you're raising your children, you do need to teach them about private areas, about, you know, places people aren't meant to touch, things people aren't meant to do with you in private, and you need to make sure your child understands that, you know, they shouldn't have secrets from mummy and daddy as well, because often how abusers kind of control children and get them not to say anything is by telling them that they'll get in trouble if they tell anyone.
Yeah, it's abuser, groomer, whatever word you want to call it, 101. Gaslighting, victim blaming tactics. Is that a fair assessment to call it?
Definitely.
So anyway, this is a BBC article, so you know, whether you trust the BBC or not, from May last year, so 2024. The figures show 27% of cases involved family members. This is child abuse cases, so 27%, that's just over 1/4.
Oh, I actually thought it was way higher than that.
That's
I thought it was higher.
That's a significant proportion, though. It's not miles away from being sort of around 33%, so that'd be a third. It's sort of in between 1/4 and a third of cases.
Yeah.
That's quite high.
I think, like, the point is you always have to be overly cautious with children. I think, you know, it could happen with any person in your family who isn't making comments like this, but as soon as someone in your family starts making comments like this, my mind would go there. My mind would go, is my child safe with this person? Is this person thinking of my child in a sexual way? I think, as you said, you know, there is a possibility that this is just really bad, weird jokes that are inappropriate, but there's not necessarily an intent to harm, but you don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that it's totally valid to feel uncomfortable with a grandparent saying things like this. What was the actual question that OP asked, just so we can like address it at the end of the post?
It wasn't really a question, just advice as to whether
Advice.
she's being overprotective and going a bit overboard.
You are not being overprotective, OP, at all. I think you need to obviously have a conversation with the grandparent and say these comments are not appropriate. And to be honest, I would maybe also ask why. I would like try and dig into it a bit and be like, why is your mind going there? Like, you made this comment about breastfeeding, her being a lesbian, but like obviously breastfeeding isn't a sexual thing. So can you please explain your thinking behind that, and like try and get to the root of like why he's making those comments, because that's the thing, you need to discover the intent behind it. What was he thinking when he said that? Is he thinking of her in a sexual way, or is it just that he makes these weird sex jokes that he would normally make with adults and he forgets? I don't know. There really isn't that good of a way of justifying it, to be honest.
I mean, maybe when he was a parent, his dad would make crude, rancid jokes like that, and he just thinks it's normal. It's what grandparents do. Maybe he's just got like a sort of dark, twisted sense of humour. Some of us do, some of us don't. But there's a time and a place to make jokes, and I don't think you should be making. I don't like to say any kind of comedy is off limits, but I do think sort of jokes of that nature are
for a child.
A very low end of the scale in terms of shouldn't say in public to another human being.
I think the thing is, like, I mean, me and Martin make sex jokes with each other all the time. Like, you can make sex jokes with other adults, obviously, but you shouldn't be making sex jokes with a child. I feel like I shouldn't even have to say this. Like, you should never be sexualizing or making any sort of like sexual jokes or comments about or around a child. It's not appropriate unless you're explaining the birds and the bees to the child, when they're a bit older. There's no reason to be making comments like this. So yeah, I mean, I think overall you are not being overprotective. I think you need to have a conversation with your husband and with this granddad. Make it clear to your husband that these comments are really inappropriate and potentially harmful. And, even though he feels like nothing would ever happen, you need to have a conversation with the grandparent to understand what his intent was and make it clear that those comments are not appropriate, and he will not be able to see his granddaughter if he continues making comments like that. Oh, and other piece of advice, I would trust your instincts and not leave her alone unsupervised with him. I would only supervised visits. If it were me, that's what I would do.
No chance. Okay, speaking of comments, let's have a look at the top comment. So with 473 upvotes, if you're going to be around him, call it out every time. Not just that's inappropriate, say that's really disgusting of you, it sounds like something a groomer would say, etc. Set him off balance and embarrass the living shit out of him, while simultaneously signalling that if he does indeed have bad intentions, your eyes are on him like a hawk. Predators go for easy prey. Make it incredibly crystal clear that there is no easy prey in your house. Exactly. Put the fucker on the back foot, watch him squirm, watch him and then finish him.
Yeah. Well, the thing is as well, it's like, that's the thing, when people make comments like that, people often think, ooh, that's a bit of a sexualizing groomer pedo-like comment to make, but you don't actually say it. But in a way, I do think if you do just put it out there and say that sounds like something a groomer would say, that's a really good way of dealing it, because you are confronting the person with what they've just said and saying that is a comment that would make other people think that you're a groomer. So are you a groomer?
No.
Are you a groomer, or are you just being stupid? And if you're just being stupid, you need to stop making those comments right now.
Because you sound like a groomer.
And if you are a groomer, you've probably got a better chance of catching him out, because he's gonna, based on his reaction.
Yeah. If you're one of these, what is it, body language psychologists, that's the sort of thing my nan would watch on, what's the name, Discovery Plus, where they analyse, like, it'll be some killer and they'll be watching back the police interview, and he scratches his ear 3 times like this, and that's a tick that he's uncomfortable. That sort of thing.
It's like I don't know if you ever watched. I'm pretty sure this was in Broadchurch.
Never watched it.
Yeah, I think annoyingly I only watched the second season. I can't remember why. I think my mum had watched the first season, so then I just decided to watch the second season with her. Anyway, but I'm pretty sure it was in Broadchurch. There's this scene where when the police detective is investigating a suspect, he yawns in the interview room to see if the suspect yawns back, because supposedly there's this psychological thing that you yawn when other people yawn because you have empathy, and supposedly if you're a psychopath, you don't yawn when other people yawn because you don't have empathy. Okay, so moving on to our next creepy story. If you haven't had enough creepiness already, I already feel a bit grossed out, but
I have.
we're gonna move on. So just a little pre-warning to this story. The title of this Reddit story is very misleading. I'm gonna read it out, and you're gonna think, what does this have to do with being a creep? And then I'll read the story, and you'll be like, oh right, that's why it's creepy. So let's get into it. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter she has no right to police who I date, considering her mum had an affair which broke my heart and she had no issues with it? I divorced my ex wife over a decade ago after her affair. She's now married to her affair partner and they even have a child together. If I'm honest, therapy has slowly helped me come to terms with it, but to say it traumatized me would be an understatement. My ex wife and I share a daughter, 25 female, who's getting married in a month's time. She's close with both of us, and I've always made it a point to never badmouth her mum despite everything that happened. The affair didn't affect her relationship with her mum at all. A few months ago, I was having lunch at a cafe when someone recognised me. She turned out to be my daughter's maid of honour. I don't really know my daughter's friends that well, so I didn't recognise her. We ended up having lunch together, exchanged numbers, and I initially thought my daughter might have been up to something. But the next day, she asked me out for lunch again. Then again, this went on for a couple of weeks or so, and one day she finally asked me to dinner. I accepted. After dinner, she invited me back to her apartment and ... Well, one thing led to another and we slept together. I honestly thought it was just going to be a one-time hookup, but she kept wanting to see me more, like she was interested in an actual relationship. For context, I haven't dated anyone since my divorce, so I was confused about what she even saw in me, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel nice to have those feelings again after so long. Still, I didn't feel right hiding this from my daughter, even though my girlfriend, yes, she's my girlfriend now, insisted it wasn't necessary and it would just cause drama. Eventually, she agreed we should tell her. When I told my daughter, she completely freaked out. She verbally tore into both of us, calling me selfish, disgusting, and said I was ruining her wedding, and that she couldn't believe I would do this to her. She's barely speaking to me now, and my girlfriend says that my daughter will have to get over it and that she's just being hypocritical considering what her mum did to me. She asked me if my daughter's relationship with her mum was affected by the affair, and I said no. And she said I have to tell my daughter that. I did later call my daughter and told her where was this outrage when her mum, someone I loved dearly, broke my heart. It didn't affect her bond with her mum one bit. My daughter seemed sad on the call and started crying a bit. I felt a bit guilty, but I said my piece. Am I the asshole for dating my daughter's maid of honour?
Okay. I don't even know where to start with that one. There's quite a lot to. I always say after every one of these you read, oh, there's quite a lot to unpick there.
I feel like they're very emotionally draining. Sometimes I read them, I'm
yeah.
like, oh god, I need a breather after that. Anyway, what do you think? Initial thoughts?
I can see how it's very uncomfortable for the daughter, but at the same time, I can understand the dad's frustration around the selective outrage, how she wasn't too upset at the mother. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. It'd be like if in the future we were divorced and someone Rosie's age, or even a couple of years younger or a couple of years older, when there's that massive age gap and you're yourself as the older person at an age where you could be that sort of, no, it's not sibling, that like spouse dating person's parent. That's always a bit of a weird dynamic, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's creepy as fuck. Like, when I was reading that story, you did not have the reaction I was expecting. Like, I read the story and I was like, ew, no, that is so gross. Okay, wait. Okay, no.
It took me a few minutes to cotton on to the fact that it was the daughter's maid of honor. I couldn't tell if it was like, I was confused initially if it was like the mum from her new married with the guy that she cheated on, her maid of honor from that wedding. But no, it was the daughter's maid of honor. So that's why I was a bit probably reacting a bit less shocked than, because I was trying to work that out.
Okay, so just for clarification for our listeners, so basically the OP is dating his daughter's maid of honor, so her presumably best friend, and he's saying that it's not fair for his daughter to be upset about it because she wasn't upset when her mum had an affair and cheated on him. So let me just get into that quickly. One, I don't think that has anything to do with the situation. Like, him dating this maid of honor has nothing to do with the fact that his ex-wife cheated on him like 10, 15 years ago. And also, I can't remember the exact age that the daughter was when him and his ex-wife split. I think she was about 15 when they divorced. So firstly, I want to say, what's your daughter supposed to do? She was 15 years old. Her parents are going through a divorce. Like, she lives with her mum. It's very uncomfortable for a child if their parents are going through a divorce and there's cheating involved. Like, she probably just didn't want to get involved. And at the end of the day, she shouldn't have to get involved. Like, when you have a child and you have arguments or one of you cheats or you do something horrible, as much as you possibly can, unless it directly impacts the child in terms of like abuse or something, the child should be kept out of it. Like, you shouldn't be discussing your relationship problems with your child. Like, I just don't know what he expected his 15-year-old daughter to do. Did he expect her to run away from home? Like, did he expect her? And also, has he ever even spoken to her about how she felt? She probably felt shit about the whole situation. Yeah. I'm sure that she was really upset when you and your wife divorced. And I'm sure that she probably had feelings about the cheating. But at the same time, I don't really know what you expect her to do. So there's that. I don't think she's, like, the daughter's in the wrong for not, like, having a go at her mum about it. Like, it's not really anything to do with her.
Well, he says he's upset that she wasn't upset about it. Maybe she was and she just kept it to herself, or people have completely different ways of processing things. You might be the sort of person that wants to, like, get in someone's face and yell at them and confront them, or you might just deal with it sort of in your own head, or you might go and talk to a friend about it, or go to the gym, go for a run, any reading, any activity that provides escapism or venting, getting something off your chest. So, people deal with things in different ways. You don't know how your daughter was dealing with this.
Definitely. That's the thing. It's like, you haven't given a lot of context about the actual time, like what went on, how did it all come out that she cheated on you? How did you separate? Was there a lot of anger? Was there arguing? Like, you have absolutely no idea how your daughter dealt with this. You've not mentioned ever having a conversation with her about it. And if you were upset about the fact that your daughter wasn't upset that her mum cheated, you should have a conversation with her about it. I mean, she's an adult now. She's 25 now. You should have a conversation with her about it, separate from having this anger about, of course she's going to be angry at you for dating her maid of honor. Imagine. So also, the daughter's getting married, right?
Yeah.
She's getting married in a matter of weeks. And then you find out that your dad is shagging your best friend.
That's a lot of undue stress to put on a bride weeks out from probably quite an expensive wedding, you'd imagine. I know not everyone has, like, the big ceremony. We're not doing that, are we?
No, we actually, funnily enough, little tidbit of information about us. So we actually planned a massive wedding for next year. And then the more we were getting into the wedding planning, it was just getting more and more expensive. We were buying this, we were buying that. There were floral arrangements, there were linens.
You can't not decorate the tables.
Oh my God, honestly, like, the stress of planning a big wedding. And, like, kudos to anyone who is doing it. Like, if you want to do that, that's great. But we just kind of realized it just wasn't for us. We were like, why are we spending all this money? Do we actually want this? And we just started thinking about it, and we were like, we just don't want that. We just want to have a small, simple wedding with the people who are closest to us, and we want to be married this year. Because we welcomed our beautiful daughter into the year in January, into the world in January, and we just realized there's other priorities we want to focus on rather than a big wedding, like financially. Like, we want to be financially stable for our daughter. We want to have more savings. We also wanted more time with our daughter, off work. Like, we're both currently, like, not working full time so that we can spend more time with her. And, like, that is more important to us than having a big wedding, because we will never get this time back. Anyway, sorry. Is there anything else you want to say on that? Because I just realised we should probably delve back in.
No, jump in.
Just thought we'd give you a little bit of tidbits of our life. But yeah, so God, there's so much going on in this story. Like, I don't even know what other bits to jump on. Oh, okay, yeah, here's another little bit to talk about. This maid of honor sounds like a bitch. What? I'm sorry. What maid of honor starts sleeping with her best friend's dad just before she gets married, and then tells the dad to keep it a secret, and then tells the dad, when they do eventually tell the daughter, that it's the daughter's fault for being upset about it because of the mum's affair 10 years ago?
At least Michael Scott waited until after the wedding to tell Pam. he was hooking up with a man. Like, at least the man had the decency to wait till afterwards.
And he wasn't man of honor.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So,
well, you know,
but
he was though in his own head, wasn't he?
But genuinely, okay, put yourself in the position of this daughter, right? So say it's in your context, you know, switching the gender roles around. Say we're getting married and your best man, so Jack or Sam, presumably, starts sleeping with your mum.
Yeah.
Are you going to feel weird about that? Yes.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to feel weird about it. And I'm sorry, this is going to be a bit controversial. I think age gap relationships are okay for a certain amount. Do you know what I mean? I think 10 to 15 year age gap is okay when you're both a lot older. Like I'd say from like maybe 25, I think a 15-year age gap is okay. I think if you're dating someone who's young enough to be your child, I'm sorry, it's a hot take. I think it's icky and I think it's gross.
Imagine like
Ew.
a 20-year-old man walking into like a children's playgroup and being like, yes, in 18 years I'll be dating that one there. It's just that's what it
so gross.
Cradle snatcher is a term that jumps to mind.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I think it's icky. But yeah, so much going on in this story. So let's just start with, am I the asshole? Yes, OP, you are the asshole. You're the asshole for not only dating your daughter's maid of honor, keeping a secret, and then getting angry with her when you tell her about it. You're also an asshole for holding this weird grudge that your daughter, who was 15 at the time, didn't stand up for you when your wife had an affair. Like, it's not your daughter's fault.
Did he say he's spoken to her about this?
No.
Or is he just playing, woe is me, my wife cheated on me 15 years ago and I'm still bitter about it, and am I worthy of love?
No.
Just fucking get a Tinder profile, mate. Find a nice single MILF in your area to take to your daughter's wedding and make your wife feel a bit, she's prettier than me. The games women play with each other. Do that. Don't fucking get your daughter's friends involved and fracture that relationship as well.
Also, can I just read this little bit out? So I don't know my daughter's friends that well, so I didn't recognise her. We ended up having lunch together, exchanged numbers, and I initially thought my daughter might have put her up to something. He's implying there he thinks his daughter secretly set him up with her maid of honor. Like, how delusional are you, OP? Why would you, in what world would you think that was going to happen? Like that, I don't understand how he doesn't get how creepy this is. Like, I presume, he doesn't mention what his age is, but his daughter's 25. So I'm going to presume that this girl is at least 25 years younger than him.
Yeah.
And she's friends with your daughter at the end of the day. That's the creepy thing. It's like, imagine family Christmases. Like, she would become your friend, your daughter's best friend would become her stepmother.
Yeah. Weird dynamic.
It's a weird dynamic. So yes,
you are the Targaryen dynamics from last week with the brother and sister.
I know.
Wedding.
I know. We love a little bit of incest. We do not support incest, but we do love reading stories about them. Martin, do you think OP is the asshole?
Yeah, 100%. Like, you've made this rod for your back, mate, so don't go complaining to the internet that you're really upset and you don't know why your daughter's mad at you and how could this have possibly happened? Oh no. Take a look in the mirror, you fucking divvy. Why do you think she's really annoyed at you?
You're the asshole.
I think he has main character syndrome. It all seems to be about him and how he's sad and how he's getting his life back together and everything. Like, your daughter's wedding should have been about her, and you've made it sort of entirely about you and this new weird relationship she's got. I'd be surprised if that girl was still the maid of honor.
Yeah,
because you can make last minute changes for stuff like this, surely. I
think if your maid of honor shags your dad, there's a clause that says you can demote her from being maid of honor or potentially uninvite her to your wedding. Because
I think that's fair.
Yeah. So let me just say, OP, you're the asshole, which I know I've now said about 5 times, but also, maid of honor, you're the asshole. What is wrong with you? Stop shagging your friend's dad before her wedding. Demote it. You're demoted. You're demoted from maid of honor, and you're not invited to the wedding. I don't have the authority to make that call, but if I did, that would be my verdict.
A maid with not too much honor, some might say.
Maid of dishonor. Maid of dishonor.
That's good.
Right, okay. Let's read some of the comments. Okay, top comment with 2,500 upvotes. This title is misleading. It has nothing to do with your ex, and it's interesting that you and your girlfriend are pretending that it does. A lot of women think it's gross when dads date women their age, especially when it's someone they know. You're the asshole, not for who you're dating, but for pretending that you don't understand your daughter's issue with it.
Yeah, that sort of wraps it up all nicely with a bow. I
Mhm.
mean, it is gross. It's quite uncomfortable for your daughter, especially the fact it could have been some random 25 to 30-year-old and it would have still been icky, but she probably could have got over it eventually, and at least dad's happy now because I know mum's got a new husband and they've got a kid together. Great, at least he's got someone, so I don't feel like he's on his own. No, you went for a best friend instead, didn't you?
Mhm. And
You're a fucking idiot, mate. My
yeah,
God.
you are. But also, like, it's true, the title is completely misleading because your weird relationship with the maid of honor has nothing to do with your wife's affair and your daughter's reaction to it. Like, you bringing that into the mix, you've just done that to, like, guilt trip your daughter and also make her feel bad about something that is completely irrelevant to why she's actually upset with you. And you're also the asshole for not understanding why she would be upset with you, because of course she would be upset with you for shagging her best friend before her wedding. Okay. So we're going to move on now because we've used up all of our anger on that story. Oh, God, I need a sip of Coke after that because, my God, I am getting riled up. Okay, so this next one is a personal favourite. I'm really excited to read this to you. So this is coming from r/marriage advice, and it's titled, "Husband secretly made an AI nude of my sister and he doesn't know that I know."
Whoa, you can do anything with AI these days.
Yup. Okay, so husband secretly made an AI nude of my sister, has a porn addiction, and he doesn't know that I know. I don't know how to process what I've found. I feel humiliated, sick, and trapped. I apologise for how long and how much detail there is, but I don't know how else to describe what's happened. I've been with my husband since 2018, married since 2022. We've always had a solid relationship, sex has always been great, we get along with each other's families, and I take care of myself and our home. I'm 25 pounds lighter than when we started dating. I know I look better now than I did then, and we get along, except for one major problem: his gaming addiction. He stays up all night, and it's been years of telling him how lonely and rejected that makes me feel, and it's gotten worse in the past year. Our sex life has really taken a hit from it because we have always been a sex before sleeping couple versus being spontaneous. I've also spent years venting and crying to him about my younger sister. She and I have a complicated relationship, and I love her more than anything, and we get along great most of the time, but she says and does some hurtful things, in brackets, narcissistic tendencies. She uses me, makes me feel small, and we've always had this weird dynamic where men that I date end up interested in her instead. He comforted me through all of those breakdowns. He told me I deserve better and that I should put up boundaries with her. And while I love her and would do anything for her, he knows how insecure she can make me feel. So now I feel completely shattered because of what I found on his phone. A while back, I caught him going through my phone while I was asleep. He claimed he was just being nosy and swore it only happened once. But it never sat right with me because I have nothing to hide and I couldn't help but feel like maybe he was the one hiding something. But I brushed it off. Now I'm terrified that's how he got what I just found. This morning, I checked his phone because I had a gut feeling I couldn't ignore. Timeline of what I found. October 2022, my bachelorette party. After getting back to our hotel room, drunk and joking, my sister flashed our friend group while I was taking a funny video of one of our friends for like 2 seconds. It was recorded on Snapchat on my phone, sent to the group chat of just us girls that we made specifically for the weekend, and saved as a Snapchat memory, which also saved to my phone's camera roll. Around a year ago is when I caught him going through my phone while I was sleeping. I'm terrified that's when he took the video of her from my phone. January 2024, he used an AI chatbot to generate a nude image of my sister. He uploaded a bikini photo of her, one I recognised immediately because it was taken in my parents' bathroom, to an AI bot that creates nudes from pictures. Her face wasn't visible, but I know her body and the room it was taken in. June 2024. I found he used a video editing app to slow down that flashing video from my bachelorette party and convert it into a saved file. Early this morning, I found all of this, plus a secret email account tied to porn sites, porn subscriptions, and a secret Instagram account he only uses through a web browser. So, for the last year at least, he's been paying for porn behind my back, using AI to sexualize my sister, keeping and editing sexualized footage of her from my own bachelorette party, all while telling me he understood my insecurities about her. While telling me she's not a good sister and friend to me. While comforting me about how she treats me. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to look at him, let alone confront him. I feel physically sick and emotionally shattered. I can't tell my family yet. It would destroy them. But I don't know how to live with this. Is this cheating? Betrayal? Porn addiction? Something darker? Do I divorce him? Try to get over it? I'm 28 and we don't have kids. We have pets that we love and we do own our home. I do not know what to do next. I'm worried that if I keep this to myself and move on, then it will slowly eat away at me. Please, if anyone's been through anything like this, or if you have any advice on what I should do next, I would really appreciate it. Right now, I feel like my marriage just died overnight and I'm completely alone.
This is what happens when the sofa masturbating, mother's basement dwelling man boy grows up and gets married. But doesn't really grow up because I'm sorry, like, you're a married man. Why the hell are you? Okay, I like video games. They're fun. They're sometimes so fun it can be borderline addictive how good they are. You're a grown man. You need to have some impulse control. That's just point one. Secondly, you have a woman that you've married who wants to have sex with you, and I assume you married her because, you know, you love her personality and you find her attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Go and have sex with your wife, you little freak. Why are you paying for porn?
Mm-hmm.
I never think it's okay for a man in a relationship, let alone a married man, to pay for pornography, which is what she said he's been doing, right? So, you know, there's point one, mate. I don't know if this is news to you. You don't need to spend money on that. There's a lot on the internet for free.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you wanted to be a bit craftier about it and cover your own tracks, you're obviously an idiot because you didn't do that. And then we get to the creme de la creepy. Just
creme de la creepy.
What the fuck? Do you want to jump in on this? Because I feel like I'm just spiraling.
Okay, so firstly, this guy never had a gaming addiction. He had a porn addiction. I think the gaming thing was probably a cover for the porn thing, because how is he having time to have a gaming addiction and a porn addiction and creating AI images of his wife's sister?
He's got two hands, to be fair. So.
But yeah, so I think firstly, I don't think he had a gaming addiction. I think it's clear he had a porn addiction. Secondly, what he did to your sister is a massive violation. I mean, I don't know what the legalities are around... I don't know what the legalities are around, like, AI, but, like, if you're obtaining somehow a naked picture of someone against their will from your wife's phone and then turning it in... I don't know.
Did he post it anywhere? Because I know if you post...
No, I don't think he
photos
posted
that you... Okay, because that would be classified, I know in the UK at least, as revenge porn, but there's got to be at least like a GDPR. No, they don't have GDPR in the US, do they? But there's got to be some acquiring material you shouldn't have type regulation where if it's not illegal in the law. But as well, you know, AI is very new. I know it's not brand new technology, but it's not been around that long. So there is probably limited legislation to sort of create laws around it. Yeah, exactly. So that, it will improve over time as AI is more widely rolled out. And that should be something that's put into place to stop that happening.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what freaky chatbot are you using? Because, like, ChatGPT doesn't do that. I've never tried, but there's got to be, like, some creepo bot that'll turn a photo into a nude, doesn't there?
Well, it's got to be something he's paying for, I presume, because most AI image generators don't allow you to create, like, sexual content. Obviously, I'm sure there are a bunch of AI ones that do. But, yeah, I mean, your husband is a creep. I'm sorry, but he's a creep. And not only that, but he has violated your sister's privacy. I mean, and your privacy. I mean, he's gone onto your phone to specifically find a video of your sister naked or, you know, partially naked, which was in a private chat within your girls group. Like, he's violated your privacy by going onto your phone. But I mean, what he's done to your sister is criminal. Like, I mean, it might not be legally criminal, but it's like, it's a massive violation. I mean, imagine you're just like out there living your life and you find out that your sister's husband has created a naked image of you by piecing together like some sort of crazy puzzle maker, like piecing together like your boobs from this video, your face from this photo, like your body from this video. Like, what the hell? He's like Frankenstein, a naked picture of your sister. Like, what? And also, how desperate do you need to be to go to those lengths? You've got all these porn subscriptions, but that wasn't enough. You needed a naked photo of your wife's sister, who she's insecure about.
It's like one of those ransom notes from like an 80s or a 90s TV detective show where they'd cut like the different letters out the magazine to make a word.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Patchwork pornography.
Oh my god, patchwork pornography. Yeah, no, it's so wrong. It's a complete violation. I don't even know. There aren't even enough words to describe how fucked up this is. Basically, you need to leave him. Yeah. I'm sorry, and I know I've said that about a lot of people today, but there's been a lot of creeps in the stories that we've read. There's no coming back from this. I mean, like, oh god, like, there's no coming back from this. Firstly, he's sexually attracted to your sister, who to be honest, is problematic enough on its own. It's even more problematic because you've spoken to him about your insecurities about feeling, I presume, inferior to your sister. Yeah. He's violated your privacy. He's violated her privacy. He's got a serious problem with porn, which I presume financially is an issue, as well as obviously sexually this is going to be an issue as well. She also mentioned, I think, that they haven't been having as much sex recently. You need to leave this man. You deserve better, OP. I don't feel like any amount of therapy is going to make this better. You can't undo what he's done. Maybe some people will disagree with me. I don't think there's any coming back from this personally. Also, as you said, I'm personally like, you know, if you want to watch porn and you're in a relationship, like, I think that's okay. I think if you've both agreed that it's kind of like okay, if I don't know if you're doing long stints apart or whatever, and you don't want to send nudes, you know, I think it's okay to watch porn. I think if you pay for porn, or you get those porn people who like do like private shows, I feel like that isn't okay, because I feel like that's more on the cusp of like cheating. On the question of whether this is considered cheating, I mean, it's not technically cheating, but it's a betrayal, and it's also like, it's in that arena. It's in the arena. It's massive betrayal of trust, and it's definitely in the arena of being unfaithful.
Yeah, infidelity adjacent is what we'll call that.
Yeah.
I mean, as well, like, if it was just the porn, okay, say this sister photo hadn't happened, wasn't at play, same as the boob video. If it was just the porn addiction, maybe that's something together with maybe a bit of therapy for him or something, or definitely. I don't know, a chastity belt would sort of help with that. Or maybe just chopping it off, who knows.
Theon Greyjoy,
yeah, reek. Maybe that'd be something you could get past, but this is just like porn addiction's there. AI photos and stealing videos of your sister's jugs off your camera roll is like way up here. It's going to go off camera in a minute. It's that high up.
Yeah.
So, don't try and look to resolve this. I wouldn't say this is something you can move past. Get out before he does it again, and in the divorce, just leave him enough money to get one of these AI sex robots. That'll keep him happy in his little gaming and wanking hovel.
Yep, he's just a Black Mirror episode waiting to happen.
Yeah. He's just another one to be hoovered up by the sex industry.
Yeah. I'm really sorry, OP, that you've gone through this. What a horrendous thing to have to go through in your relationship, but you deserve so much better, and you will be better off without this man.
What a sad little man as well. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, what is it with all these little slimy, wormy little men we've been talking about today? Oh my god.
Right, okay. I'm getting drained just talking about this. So let's read the top comment and then move on. Okay, top comment. Ooh, only 87 upvotes. It looks like this.
Is it a new one? Or?
This story has actually flown a little bit under the radar. It's actually only got 36 upvotes in total. I'm surprised it's not gotten bigger on Reddit, because it's such a crazy story. But let's read the top comment. You will never feel safe with him again. He betrayed you after lusting after your sister, so much so that he took videos and images from your phone to jerk off to. Then took it a step further to create AI content of her. Not only did he violate you, he violated your sister by secretly stealing stuff from your phone without consent from your sister. He sexually violated her. What he did may even be illegal, depending where you're from. He is not someone you can ever trust again. I also guarantee you, this is only what you know about. There is more, and you are never going to get the full truth from him. He is a sick pervert who you should kick to the curb. His level of betrayal and violation is beyond repair.
Yeah, that sums it up pretty well.
Yeah, I think that was a beautiful explanation. There's no coming back from this. I'm sorry, but it's done.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a funny joke for him, but I'm just too drained and a bit sad into that, to be honest.
No, I actually feel emotionally drained as well. Stick a fork in this one. It is done. Let's move on.
Days. Right, let's get rid of this one. Yeah, I'm surprised that one isn't as like prominent as you think already.
It's good,
is it
though.
quite recent?
I like 2 days old.
2 days ago. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think I like finding ones that are a little bit like, what do you call it? I don't know, a little bit not niche, but like, oh, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like the underdog of stories. Cult. It's like a cult story. That's what I'm thinking of. Not a cult story. We've actually got another theme on that coming up soon about actual cults, but I mean as in like a cult film, you know, flies under the radar.
Yeah. So I've only just realised that this is not exactly the same story, but this is practically the same story as the one we've just done. It's like,
no way.
It's older. It's off a different thread. r/Am I overreacting? And the title is, Am I overreacting? My husband pays for porn.
Huh.
Okay, so I, 42 female, have been married to 37 male for 6 years, and my husband has what's probably a sex addiction. I never had an issue with him watching porn and taking care of himself as often as he wants to. We have some infidelity issues that he is doing better on, but one thing he's doing behind my back is paying for OnlyFans girls from a private bank account that I thought he had closed. He thinks it's not a huge deal because it's not sex, and he does this instead of paying someone for actual sex, and he feels like I'm being overbearing and smothering him when I find out about it and confront him. I'm actually starting to wonder if I am making a big deal about it than I should. The girls are just working, so I know they don't have a real relationship with him. He talks to them and enjoys it, gets a little thrill, more so than just regular porn, but that's as far as it goes. I'm thinking of suggesting he can do it with like a set amount of money each month, so at least I don't feel like he's throwing a ton of money away, and it doesn't feel as secretive. But I also wonder if that's just me constantly trying to compromise because there's always something going on, it seems. Any input would be helpful.
Oh man, the punches just keep on rolling today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's not okay.
No.
But let me caveat this by saying, I think every relationship is different, and every relationship has different kind of boundaries around what's okay. I mean, some people are okay with like, you know, sleeping with other people and stuff, but I mean, generally that's not considered okay in most relationships or most monogamous relationships. But I would say with porn, I mean, we've just touched on it there, but I personally think it's okay to watch porn, you know, a little bit, like if you're away from your partner or, you know, I think if you know, watching porn a little bit every now and again is different to having a porn addiction. Yeah. But also I do think watching generic porn, like of videos on the internet, like on Pornhub, is different to paying for someone to privately do sexual acts for you. That to me does feel more akin to cheating, because regardless of whether you have any sort of emotional relationship with this person, you've requested like a private audience with them and they're performing for you and they can see you. Do you know what I mean? You've got like a direct line to them. It's not like when you're watching a video on the internet, you could be watching YouTube, you could be watching a movie, you could be watching anything. That person has no link to you whatsoever. If you're having an actual live video chat with someone who is performing sexual acts on themselves and you're doing sexual acts on yourselves, that is cheating in my view.
Yeah, it's the more one-to-one nature of it and the fact there's an exchange of money for a service where I think it crosses the line from potentially being okay if it's something you've agreed to. And, you know, there probably are people in relationships where one or the other or both like pay girls, or there's guys on OnlyFans.
Yeah,
as well,
of course
maybe,
there are.
probably.
Yeah, of course. Everyone's on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Foot people, you know, furries, the whole lot.
One of the jiu-jitsu guys I quite likes on OnlyFans. I've only seen his content go to reels, but he just does like videos of himself training, like really
On OnlyFans?
Yeah, video, but in just like Speedo type
Oh.
things. Craig Jones, he just does it to. He's just an Australian piss taker. He's just a joker.
I want to watch these videos.
Yeah, he's just funny. He did. So there's a type of leg lock called reaping, and one of his latest instructionals, which is like a collection of videos where they like teach you loads of different moves. He called it false reap allegations.
Oh my god.
So that's the kind of heaver you're expecting
Right,
with this guy. But he
I
just does
see.
it as like another income stream, and he knows his fans like him taking the piss and doing stupid shit.
At the end of the day, At the end of the day,
Yeah.
people on OnlyFans can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
I think in the context of a relationship, I think I agree with you. I think if you're paying for sexual content, but I don't know, because I mean, if you go back to like the 90s, people used to have to go to shops to buy porn. Like that was like one of the only ways to do
You
it,
have
right?
to walk through
Yeah.
the bead door.
There was like a section of Blockbusters, right, where you would go in and you would like buy a pornography video. So I suppose, and it's like, I wouldn't consider that cheating if you're going to buy porn, but I mean, so I don't know. I mean, with the money thing, I suppose, is it? I do think it's a bit creepy to have a porn subscription, because as well, it's kind of like that commitment to regularly watching porn. Do you know what I mean? But I think, I don't know. I'm not sure if you can say exclusively that if you pay for any sexual thing on the internet that constitutes cheating. I think it's a bit of a grey area.
You could make the case it's a more ethical form of pornography because the money's going directly to the actor.
Free range, as Howard would say on Fresh Meat.
Free range, royalty free, cruelty free.
Do your Howard impression.
Free range pornography. JP.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Fresh Meat, there's this really funny episode where Howard reads this empowering feminist book, and it talks about how, pretty much all porn is, anti-feminist and is actually really, objectifying for like the woman. And anyway, then it kind of ruins his relationship with porn because he feels like he can't watch any porn videos without feeling guilty. So he tries to find like free range porn, organic porn.
And he ended up on the bestiality channel. No, he didn't. Candice, I'm getting my tits out for the girls.
He ended up
getting my tits out for feminism.
Yeah, he got his tits out for feminism.
He did,
So we love Howard.
But
yeah, sorry, circling back to this story. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, you're not overreacting. I don't think it's okay that your husband is paying for porn content. I presume as well with like a one-on-one person, and having like sexual things happen between him and one other person.
She did imply a sort of secretive nature to it, how he's got like an extracurricular bank account that he said to his missus, "Oh, I've shut that down," and he hasn't. So the fact he's trying to conceal it as well makes me think he knows it's wrong.
Yep.
And maybe that's more of a thrill for him or something weird.
Well,
or, I don't know.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's
he
creepy.
clearly knows it's wrong and he is trying to hide it, but not hide it that well.
It's creepy for sure. Having a secret bank account as well is a betrayal of trust in itself, regardless of the porn. Like if you've got money secretly from your partner that you're not that like you can have separate bank accounts and everything, but I mean if you've got a bank account which you've told your partner you've closed down and actually you're secretly still spending money from it, that is a betrayal in itself. I do think it's creepy. I will say, I think, and please don't hate me for this, people, if anyone's listening, but I don't think it's you necessarily have to break up over it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to put myself... Okay, if I put myself in the situation and it was you, I'm going to be really freaking creeped out and really angry and really pissed off. I feel like it's something we could get through. I suppose it depends on the extent of it. Like, how far does it go? How many times has it happened? How often do you do it? Because, as well, that goes into kind of porn addiction territory. Like, do you have a problem? If you have a problem as well, you can work through it. But I think that... I think there's a little bit more context needed. I think it's potentially salvageable. I wouldn't say it's definitely like break up and never see each other again. But I definitely think it's creepy behavior and you're totally justified for feeling weirded out by it. And I do think it is in the realm of infidelity.
Yeah, it's infidelity adjacent again.
Yeah.
So the top comment with 156 upvotes. Oh, it's an informational comment. Fun fact, he is 100% not talking to those models. Like 90% of the people on OnlyFans hire other people, often men, to do the talking for them. Either that or their boyfriends' husbands do it. Go on any of the OnlyFans worker/advice subs and you'll see them talking about it. So it's kind of funny, really. He thinks he's having this sort of secret saucy chat with this lass from Tallahassee on OnlyFans while she's in the orange tree fields, and it's just some dude in a white vest with a Bud Light and a slightly larger belly typing away back to him. That's
It's
quite funny.
It's
really.
like when Barney and Marshall get hold of in How I Met Your Mother. Barney and Marshall, they pretend to be this girl online talking to Ted, and they try to like get him to fall in love with her. So they'll be messaging him like from the bar, like with like chips and a pint, being like, "I'm sitting in my underwear on the sofa reading Architecture Weekly right now." Yeah. So wait. So it's sexting. It was like online sexting.
I
presume
don't
because
know.
they've said that if it's, I mean, yeah, I presume if you didn't see who the person was. Anyway, I think regardless of what it is, I think, yeah, if you're having some sort of one-on-one sexual relationship with someone online, even if it's paid for, it would make me feel really uncomfortable. I presume it makes the wife feel really uncomfortable. To be honest, if anything makes you feel uncomfortable in a relationship, regardless of what you think about it, you shouldn't do it
Yeah, exactly.
if it makes the other person uncomfortable. So
That's the thing, because she has said, if I can find where she said it, yeah, she suggested like having a set amount for him to spend a wanking allowance.
oh my God, no.
You've had your 3 today, Jeremy. Put it away. We're going to my mother's.
Oh my God, no. They have a wanking budget.
No.
God.
She said something she thinks she can maybe do to get him to rein it in a bit is to cap his spending. But then she goes on to say, but I also wonder if that's just me trying to compromise, just to rationalise it to
Yeah.
herself and make think it's okay. I think she might be. Obviously, I don't know this person, and she hasn't said, but she's suggested that she thinks herself that maybe she might be trying to rationalise it and compromise with him to sort of keep the peace.
I personally think...
Sorry, go on.
Sorry.
No,
I think if you have to give your husband a wanking budget, you might have bigger issues that you need to deal with if you're having to put aside a certain amount of money to feed your husband's porn subscriptions.
Ella, can I borrow 20 quid? I'm just going to go upstairs for half an hour.
Oh God, it's like having a wank jar, a swear jar. Every time you swear, you have to put a coin in the jar. It's like every time you have a wank, you have to put some money in the jar to contribute to your next contribution.
This is probably exposing my twisted mind. I thought you were going to suggest putting something else in the
Oh
jar
no,
instead.
no, oh no.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so yeah, as you can tell, we do in fact make sex jokes and talk about
all
sex.
the time.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Okay, so essentially I will say, yes, that was very creepy behaviour. The wife is totally justified in feeling weird about it. It sounds like there may be a bigger issue that you need to delve into, but I think potentially couples therapy, you could maybe figure it out. It depends kind of how long it's been going on for and, yeah, how much it's affecting your relationship. Only you can answer that, but I would say it is creepy behaviour, and I don't think most relationships would be okay with that.
Yeah, it's not too far gone like the previous story of a similar nature, but yeah, I'd get it addressed sooner. Rather, imagine going to apply for a mortgage or something where a financial advisor goes through like your monthly budget and you're like, OF Wank Bank, what's that? That's $250 a month. My God, you're spending more on that than charging your Tesla. Jesus.
Yeah, if I worked at that bank, I would 100% be secretly judging.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was our last story. So hopefully you feel sufficiently creeped out. I feel sufficiently creeped out. I actually do feel like I need to take like a cold shower after that and have a bit of a break because wow, some of those were pretty heavy. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week with another episode. If you want to follow us, we have our socials set up now. So you can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at wedlocked.in.podcast or on Twitter.
Or X, as it's known nowadays. That's just at Wedlocked In.
So give us a follow.
And on YouTube, sorry. If you just search for Wedlocked In, we'll come up. And yeah, all the popular and slightly less popular podcast streaming sites, just search Wedlocked In, will come up.
Yeah, thankfully there's no other podcasts at the moment with that name. So yeah. So thanks for getting Wedlocked In with us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.